The Knicks are going back to the finals for the first time since 1999. And apparently a game 4 happened between the Spurs and the Thunder. We'll get to all that, but hey, welcome back to the Casual Observer. The takes are hot, agendas are pretty shameless, and we've got a couple of segments of Fraud Watch, Himothy of the Night, Buy, Sell, Hold, all this kind of stuff. We'll get to it. We've got some trades to go through, action-packed little segment we've got coming up. So beautiful. Thank you for being part of this. We will dive straight in to the Knicks. Spike Lee, Mike Breen, Timothy Chalamet, Ben Stiller, Jalen Brunson. Hey, they've all gone through it. And hey, the Knicks are back. I was born in 96. Pretty crazy to think that I've lived a whole life, basically, since the Knicks were last really, really relevant. They had a couple of years there with Melo and Stoudemire, but not a lot to celebrate. And hey, just what an honour to be part of history. So yeah, we're just come off watching the end of whatever the hell that was between the Cavs and the Knicks. The Knicks won 130 to 93, 37-point drubbing. They win the series 4-0, back-to-back sweeps for the Knicks. They've hard to believe that one day, maybe a month ago, they were down 2-1 to the Hawks. People talking all sorts of shit about Mikal Bridges should be on the bench. Why the fuck would you give up 6 picks for him? Mike Brown, Jesus, where's Tom Thibodeau? And now, a month later, you're like, this is the greatest team we've seen on this side of the coast for a long time. It was amazing. It was really like watching a bird learn to fly with the Cavs. Had some moments of brilliance and then got slammed by a car windshield and is now obliterated. Yeah, pretty gruesome analogy. That might be their off-season. I'm not sure they're going to have any pieces left after this off-season. It could be a full rebuild. It could be just little tweaks. It could be anything in the middle. Everything's on the table now for the Cavs. It was amazing that they made the conference finals. It was like that's an achievement. First one for Donovan Mitchell. Back for Harden since 2017. But when you don't win a game, as I said on the last pod, does it even fucking count? Probably not. Sorry, you didn't show up. You showed up in game 1. That was about it. You could tell, look, they got off to a hot start. I liked what they said. RJ and Tim Legler said on the podcast, on the telecast. Donovan Mitchell comes out, hits back-to-back threes. The Cavs are up 8-2. Crowd's, wanting to go wild. They're going wild. And Tim Legler says, as a star player, you just got to dip your toe in the water. You just got to see if you're feeling it, if you can carry the team on the night. And Donovan Mitchell certainly dipped his toe in early. He ended up with 31 points. Honestly, pretty forgettable 31 points. The Cavs just looked like they were in it for 5 minutes. Got too hard, packed up their shit and went home. There's a lot to break down here. It's horrendous. But let's praise the Knicks. They have won 11 straight, and they really turned their whole season around. Game 4 of the Atlanta series, and it's really amazing to see that a team can go from rock bottom to top of the mountain basically in a couple of weeks. They recovered from that first little heaval from Donovan Mitchell, and they were up 38-26 at the end of the first, and then 68-49 at halftime, and it was never a game. It was just the Knicks just toying with them. Their defense was amazing. It was at the level of OKC and Spurs. They were on a string. There was many a play where the TV crew broke down that, no players were left on an island. Say it's Mikal Bridges and Donovan Mitchell. He drives in, and Mitchell Robinson's right there to give him help. And then the roll man from the corner, he drags in the help off Mitchell Robinson's man. And then there's all these players in rotation. No one's been left alone. The rotations are quick and seamless. There's trust in the group. It's just that kind of defense, that kind of concentration, the fact there's no let up, the fact there's no arguing, it's just constant kind of like little tweaks. And the fact that they found a weakness in the Cavs and just exploited it without any remorse. I mean, their defense was amazing, but it led to fast breaks. The biggest issue with the Cavs was, their transition defense, and the Knicks said, fuck yeah, we're running. and they outran them all night. And when it got to about 57-32, the TV crew just started breaking down the fact that it's just like one player sprinting back, 4 jogging for the Cavs, and all 5 for the Knicks sprinting ahead. It's just, sometimes it's a skill thing, sometimes it's an effort thing. It really seemed like an effort thing for half of this series. So that was amazing to watch. Though I can't say personally I watched much of the second half because it wasn't much of a game. And when you see people just blatantly give up, it's a little embarrassing, and I can't do it. I like competitiveness. The Knicks got themselves to 30-26 up, and then from that moment went on a 20-0 run for the next 5 minutes, making it a 50-26 game, and it was never close since. And yeah, it was just some of the highlights again. Bridges at one point was 70 for 101 field goals over his last 9 games. That's an incredible rate of efficiency from the field. As we look through, you've got the Knicks. They've won 14, in their 14 games in this postseason, they are plus 217 in 14 games. They haven't just been winning, they have been dominating. And evidenced by the highest plus minus that the league has seen since 73. So that's a team that's locked in. There's no we'll just have this game off. Nope. We're just going to run, kill, and have our time off. So this is the best scenario for the Cavs, for the Knicks, and it's the best scenario for the Eastern Conference because everyone's called it a weak conference, and now the Knicks are sitting there waiting for their opponent, and they could be waiting a while. It's 2-2 in the Spurs Thunder, and we'll delve into that game in a tick, but this is great. There's a bloodbath going on in the Western Conference, and the Knicks have got their feet up. They can go holiday for a week if they want. They won't, but it's perfect. It's going to set us up for a real nice finals. So the better team definitely won. My prediction was 4-1. I thought the Cavs would have a little bit more grit. I thought if there's any chance in this series, they have to win game 1. And the fashion they lost that game really explains why the rest of the series just went to shit. So amazing for the Knicks. You can see the starters game. The Cavs try to establish Donovan and Mobley early. Decent start. But it just fell away early. And, look, even if Mitchell's a little bit hobbled, I don't know, it just wasn't good enough. They just let go of the rope very early. They said the Knicks just established the fact that they were going to push the pace, and the Cavs never just seemed to give enough of a shit to actually sprint with them. So I'm not sure who's going to be in the who's going to have their job at least the Cleveland Cavaliers next year. Players or coaches. Kenny Atkinson, pre-game, we've all heard it. Oh, we've won 2 out of 3 games of this series statistically. Brother, there was 3 L's, now there's 4 L's and no W's next to your name. Not great. I mean, I respect trying to pump up the team. You're like, hey, yeah, we're doing, the process is right, it's great. No, brother. You'd be lucky to have a job next year. It's like when Joe Mazzulla says, our shot quality, we should be winning these games. Again, you're out in the first round. To hell with that. You're cool. Basketball's not played on paper. Make the confidence however you want. Sell the dream that you're trying to sell all of us on. It's not working. Takes me back to Kenny Atkinson's Brooklyn days. Really good at player development. Amazing. Did it again with the Cavs, but cannot get over the hump. I think he's got a real prove-it year if he's not fired, because, to get over the hump, he has to. Otherwise, he's just going to be forever known as a, build the team up kind of coach. And then when it gets serious, fuck him off. So some of the things that we noticed pretty early was the fact that they were just soft switching on some of the rub screens still. If Brunson wanted Harden, they would just give it to him. Do you not think by game 4 that you should be maybe fighting over those screens or getting Harden on, other players? I think he was up against Josh Hart to start with, so they just use Hart and all the screens. I can see why, but Hart's a really good playmaker, so I think they swapped Harden to to Cat at one point. That was a terrible idea. Just, you've got to fight over those screens because, they scored on Harden with ease. And those the rub screens with the soft switches hasn't worked from game one. Let's just keep trying it 4 games in a row. You're a fucking idiot. The team didn't buy in. There was no effort on the transition. There's no effort defense. There was no connectivity. They didn't trust each other. It was just... I mean, look, I actually put a lot of this blame on Kenny. I put a lot of this blame on Donovan Mitchell. Starting Dean Wade for 3 games of the series. It clearly wasn't going to work. And it didn't work. He had a good series against the Pistons, but new series, new matchup. Maybe just watch some tape. It's not all analytics. Some of it's an eye test. Donovan Mitchell gets a fair bit of blame for me. He puts up stats, but he doesn't make others better. I mean, look, when he did make players better, they won games. When he had those games, 5, 6, 7 assists against the Pistons, they won all those games. As soon as he goes back to 2, 3, 4 assists, it's more like he's been forced to pass the ball than he wants to, and he's not making his other players around him better. I mean, they started Strus tonight. I would have thought that was actually going to help them, and they had just no movement. It was just Donovan and Harden attacking 1v1. And their best couple of plays early in the game was when they actually were forced to give up the ball, and Mobley and Allen actually made plays. So I think it's quite obvious what they got to do. Their season's over. But in these games, it was quite obvious that Donovan and Harden had to be more table setters. And, Mobley and Allen can't get their own shots. Strus and Merrill can't really get their own shots. And instead of being table setters, they were just attack. And, you got swept 4-0. That worked well, really well. Didn't see any clips. Doesn't mean it didn't happen, but didn't see any Donovan Mitchell in the huddle clips, firing his team up, saying, let's fucking go, let's not take this shit. Would have liked to have seen some of those clips. I mean, the cameras are on everything that these players do these days. I feel like we would have seen one of those clips, but none of that. So his leadership definitely comes under question for me. I thought Mobley really stepped up. Doesn't mean he played well or efficiently, but we asked for him to get tougher and step up, and it seemed like he added an extra gear in the last couple of games. So respect to him, but there are going to be changes this offseason. This game was just a joke. Don't have too many notes on it, but their series is over. Their year is over. Yes, you made it conference finals, but as I said, does it count? Probably not. So look, fraud watch, man. I said it's going to be a hard one, but it's 2 people. It's Kenny Atkinson and Donovan Mitchell. Fraud watch for me is players that get overrated, or I just really hate watching. And for these 2, it's overrated. Kenny Atkinson's got this great role as a coach and gets talked up, as they do, but no. Some of the strategy, the processes, the comments after games, like, I can't believe how quick I went from loving this guy as a coach to just being like, you're a dropkick. And Donovan Mitchell has said, put stats up, but does it lead to winning? Evidence says no, because this is his first conference finals in his career. Yeah, he gets a lot of regular season wins, but a lot of all-NBA selections. Not my cup of tea if you're not going to make others better around you. Works hard on defense when he wants to, gets big rebounds when he wants to. You can really tell when he's engaged and when he's not. Yes, he may have been injured, but again, lack of leadership, lack of making others better. This might be an off-season to look inwards if you're still with a team, and if you're asked to be traded, that also tells me plenty. So, I could go harder, but I don't want to. Look, honestly, the whole Knicks team just deserves credit. No one played above 30 minutes. Huge plus minuses. Landry Shamet comes off the bench and delivers. It's just a huge little night for the all of New York. I just can't believe it's been 27 years since they were in the finals, and now the whole city's rocking. Cannot wait to watch them in the finals. It's a big night for all of us. When game 1 between them and whoever comes out of Spurs Thunder starts. So, let's get into some trades. I've come up with a few. I've mocked a couple. Asked ChatGPT to actually break him down, see who says no, see who gets a better deal, and I kind of rate it. So, first deal I came up with, and it's unlikely because would the Boston Celtics and Cleveland Cavaliers trade with each other? Unlikely. But I've got Jarrett Allen and Max Strus going to the Celtics. This is if the Cavs want to kind of stay somewhat relevant, but just tweak things a little. And same with the Celtics. If they want to get back above the tax, now that they have had their year, getting below the luxury tax line, out of all the aprons, and now they've got a 2-year window to really add some salary and be serious again. So the Celtics would get Jarrett Allen and Max Strus. The Cavs would get Derek White and 2 late second round picks. So I came up with this trade because I think, look, it's a bit of need both teams have, and it'd be a tough pill to swallow for both. Both have some fan favourites moving. Both have players of really big fit that would, it would help each other team. But just, if we break it down, the Celtics need a big man. Neemias Queta was awesome in the regular season, huge non-factor in the playoffs. And Jarrett Allen, look, got his issues, sure. Not the most expensive center, pretty solid. You kind of know you can get your 13 and 8 from him. And he's got some rim protection there. Huge in the pick and roll as well, if you're finding him. And that would be something for the Celtics, is the pick and roll between Jarrett Allen and Tatum. That would be quite interesting, I think. And you'd send Max Strus, 1 for the money, but 2, he's got 3 years left. Had a bit of an injury-riddled season, but he adds a bit of defense and 3-point shooting that Joe Mazzulla would be here for. So I imagine that would be quite beneficial for Joe Mazzulla and his coaching staff. They would be giving up a fan favorite in Derek White. Didn't have a good playoffs at all. Had a pretty good regular season. It's hard to tell if the best is behind him or if he's just simply run down from the regular season. So I think you take a chance on him if you're the Cavs. You do get 2 late seconds in this. They're just kind of throw-ins. But I think if you can get the best out of Derek White, he can guard up, he can guard down. So you could quite easily still have Harden and Mitchell on the floor with White. You'd move Mobley to the 5, and then you do some other financial moves to try and get a nice 4 if you don't feel that Dean Wade is going to be enough for you at the 4 position. But this gets both teams this gets the Cavs a little lower in the money on the financial side, so they've got some flexibility. But also, Derek White provides defense and 3-point shooting just a little bit more consistently than Strus. He's a much better defender as well than Strus, though Strus gave it a hell of an effort in the playoffs. So I would say, from my perspective, I think it's a win-win. But ChatGPT says Boston gets a B+ on this. Allen solves a long-term center issue, gives him elite rebounder and rim protector. Strus replaces some of White's shooting volume. Boston may become slightly bigger and tougher. They might hesitate because Derek White is the most valuable role player in basketball, and he fits perfectly with their defense. So, from the Cavs, C+. Derek White's perfect playoff guard, another ball creator, another shooter, another elite perimeter defender, can play with or without the basketball. Cleveland might say no because Allen is a pretty good handy center, and Strus is a great rotation wing. So depends what you want to give up there. But I would say, and then Chat's made some little tweaks to the trade. They said, look, if you want it to be a bit fairer, maybe the Celtics receive Allen and Strus still, but the Cavs get White and a future first round pick. If the Celtics want to do that, I'm sure the Cavs would be. They've seen this Mobley Allen combination enough, and you've got to give up something to get something. And if Derek White's still near his best, I think it's almost more of a value move for Cleveland. But that's the first trade. I kind I kind of like it. I'm slightly biased to made it. Let us know your thoughts on this one. There won't be a poll, but email in, get a conversation going on Instagram. I'm a huge fan. Next one, also with the Celtics. This is a bigger one. Jaylen Brown goes to the Cavaliers along with Sam Hauser. And the Celtics get Evan Mobley, Max Strus, Sam Merrill, and a first. Break it down. Jaylen Brown's Twitch stream. And that's the end of the reasons. No, I'm kidding. No, if the Celtics want to go a different way, and look, I listen to a lot of Zach Lowe and The Mismatch and Bill Simmons and The Hoop Collective. Most people are still high on Evan Mobley. I never had the most. I always thought he was exactly what he is, 15 and 9 kind of guy. Never thought he'd be Defensive Player of the Year though, so wrong there. But I think if the Celtics wanted to move off Jaylen Brown's huge contract in the future, get some value for him, this might be the time. And so the Celtics would get a big power forward in Evan Mobley to put next to Tatum, so Tatum can play the 3. Or if they want to go small, at least Tatum's not playing the 5. He's now playing the 4. Mobley would be the 5. Strus and Merrill, that is quite a lot of shooting there. And that replaces Sam Hauser's shooting. So, and the first would just be a sweetener to get Jaylen Brown on the squad for the Cavs. So, in this trade, you'd lose a lot of shooting if you're the Cavs, but you still get, Sam Hauser's no mug, and Jaylen Brown, pretty damn good at getting his own shot. So, you'd have Harden, Mitchell, Hauser, Brown, Allen, if you wanted to go that way. I think that's pretty good. You need to fill out the bench a little bit, and it gives you a lot of individual scorers, but they can all play make for Hauser and Allen and each other if they were that way inclined. From what we saw, probably not this year. But defensively, I don't think they lose a little bit in Mobley, but Jaylen Brown's a great defender, and yeah, again, you just need to go a bit of shopping on the free agency market this year, but that might free up Jared Allen a little bit, because we saw Allen and Harden have great chemistry. And from the Celtics side, you could do a bunch with this lineup. You'd still have Derek White in this deal. You'd still have Peyton Pritchard, Jason Tatum. So I think you could go a lot of different ways, but I think Joe Mazzulla would love these weapons. He'd get a lot of 3-point shooting on the squad. Wouldn't have to rely on Jordan Walsh and Baylor Scheinman, Hugo Gonzalez. He could very much just pour minutes into these guys, along with Peyton Pritchard, Derek White, Jason Tatum, Cater, Gaza, and I think Scheinman deserves more minutes. But hey, this is just it's another breakdown of a big trade that would change the league, but also I reckon benefits both teams. If we go to the classic Cavs move, I say classic because everyone said, why not Giannis? So, I came up with Cavs get Giannis Antetokounmpo, Bobby Portis, and AJ Green. And the Bucks get Evan Mobley, Max Strus, Dennis Schroeder, Jalen Tyson, Tyrese Proctor, the 29th pick in this year's draft, and 2 futures and a swap. I think that's immense value for the Bucks. They get a couple of young people to build around. Tyson, you can see what's there. Proctor, you can see what's there. Mobley keeps that nice gold chip that you can be like, this is the guy that we got in the trade to build around. And then you can either flip Strus and Schroeder, or you can just make sure that you're not giving the Pelicans, you're not giving the Hawks too much value with the pick that you gave away. So I think that's plenty of value. For the Cavs, you get Giannis, Bobby, and AJ Green. You get 2 shooters basically with Bobby and AJ. You get some massive boost in your toughness with Bobby. I reckon between he and Giannis, the toughness on the Cavs goes way up. They ain't backing down to anyone now. Your starting lineup would basically be swapped out. So it'd be Harden, Mitchell, Giannis, Bobby Portis, and Allen. That's a big lineup if you wanted to go that way. You could also still have Merrill or Dean Wade starting instead of Portis. You could have AJ Green starting. You've got some optionality there. So that might be too much value for the Bucks to just give away. I say give away, but I think it's a very fair trade. Bucks get 5 players, 4 picks, 3 young players, and the Cavs get people that are ready to win now. Mitchell's ready to win now. Allen's ready to win now. Harden should be... he might be past it, but at least he's in that win now phase. So, look, your bench might be a bit thin. Any injuries, you might be struggling a bit. But, hey, you just need... you need lightning to strike. And if you've got this team, that could definitely get you somewhere. So, let us know what you think of that trade. That's a big one. I think I've seen some other versions of it where it's Giannis for Mobley and Strus and picks. If I'm the Cavs... I'd rather go a bit more all in on that, and Portis and AJ Green gives me shooting and toughness, as we've spoken about, and the Bucks then get a few extra young guards that you can see what they've got at least. Take a chance on them. 2 more trades. We'll start with the simple one. Nets, Cavs. Let's just say you're keeping on this, we're going to try and win path. Nets get Jarrett Allen, Max Strus, Dennis Schroeder, and the 29th pick in this year's draft, Utah's pick in 2028, and the Cleveland Cavaliers pick in 2032. So you get some picks further out in the future, and you get some now. You get some players that you can flip, keep. I mean, Brooklyn don't have their own pick, so you kind of want some win now players. With Jarrett Allen and Max Strus, that gives you some players that can at least get you regular season wins. If you want to move off of Nick Claxton, you can. So optionality, and the Cavs get Michael Porter, Noah Clowney, and Ben Saraf. That might seem like a lot to give up for the Nets in this trade, but I'm not sure you're going to do much better for Michael Porter. I'm not sure Ben Saraf and Noah Clowney have any value at the moment. They have had all season to do something, and they just did not do anything. They didn't deliver. So I think the Cavs might be giving up a little much there, but if you're in a win now move, you hope that Noah and Ben can grow and pop into something. But at least with Michael Porter, massive dude, 6'10", great shooter. If he's good at one thing, it's shooting. And that would still leave the Cavs with Harden, Mitchell, Porter Jr., Evan Mobley, and you could use a mix of Merrill, Dean Wade, Jalen Tyson, to fill out the rest. So that's a bit of, if the Nets are willing to go that way, they get a few more assets and take a bit of a bet on the Cavs not being good in 2032. I don't think it's enough for the Nets, but hey, it's something. So let us know what you think. Last one we'll go through today. 3-team trade. Bear with me. Nets get Jalen Smith and Donovan Mitchell. Bulls get Terrence Mann, Noah Clowney, Jarrett Allen, and 2 future firsts. No, 1 future first and a second-round pick. And the Cavs get Michael Porter Jr., Josh Giddey, and 2 firsts. Look, they may not have the picks the right way there, but the idea for that one is opening up $14 million for the Bulls. So they actually end up getting quite a bit of cap space there. They become a cap space team. They get off Josh Giddey, which is the big thing. Having landed the 4th pick in this year's draft, having Matas Buzelis, Noah Sengay, Rob Dillingham, I think if you wanted to get off Josh Giddey's $100 million contract, I think you could do it. So, you got to give him up. The Cavs can take a chance on Michael Porter and Josh Giddey. Yes, you're giving up Donovan Mitchell, but if he asks to go away, I think getting 2 firsts, Josh Giddey and Porter Jr. gives you some optimism at least. You get the chance to be like, hey, we've got Harden, Giddey, Porter. We've still got a decent bench. We've still got Evan Mobley. We've still got Wade, Strus, Merrill, Tyson. You could talk yourself into it, especially having those 2 future firsts. You've got, one's a Brooklyn pick, one's a New York pick. They may not be worth much, but again, it's just other assets that you can at least move around stuff with. Bulls would do this, again, to get off Josh Giddey, but also just have a crack at Noah Clowney, get a Houston first, and open up that optionality for him. You can flip Noah, you can flip Jared Allen, and it's a no-brainer why the hell the Nets would do this. They give up 3 firsts, Michael Porter and Noah Clowney in this, but they get Donovan Mitchell. There you go. There's your guy to build around. Becomes somewhat more relevant than just the other team behind the Liberty and the Knicks. And Jalen Smith. I thought it's been pretty fucking good. Spacing 4. Can play some 5. Big enough. Look, he's good for 20 minutes a game. You could take a shot on him. But at least that way with the Nets, you'd have whoever you pick in the 6th pick this year in the draft, whether it's Darius Acuff, which I think is the way to go. Wagler. You've got a few options there. So Flemings. But either way, you'd have a small backcourt if you don't go with Wagler. If you go with like Acuff or Flemings, 6'2", along with Donovan Mitchell, 6'2". But you've got Yegor Demon. You would have... I know you're giving rid of Michael Porter Jr. You'd have a lot of optionality as well in the market for the free agents as well. It wouldn't be a team that would win this year, but at least for the Nets, again, relevancy. So let us know. 3-team trades are hard to do, but so I think all 3 win in this one. The Cavs would be, the one saying goodbye to Donovan Mitchell. So if you're giving up the best player in the trade, a little bit depressing. But let us know what you think. I have fun making up trades. I have fun talking basketball. Send us through critiques of them. And I'll get ChatGPT to abuse me a bit more with that one. Another game 4 that was kind of disappointing. Spurs Thunder. Spurs win 103-82. And again, wasn't really a game. Close early. When I say close early, it was 8-7. and then the smackdown was laid. So it was the Thunder's lowest point total for the year by far. Their previous, in the regular and postseason, lowest point total was 93. So 82 is by far their lowest. Yes, they have injuries. No J-Dub. No AJ Mitchell. But still, with a team that's got too many players at times, that was a joke. The Spurs came into this game having not lost 3 games in a row all year, and that continues. They did not. Look, it was a weird start. Great for Wemby. Comes out, hits a 3, blocks the shit out of a Chet dunk. Just alpha dog that big man. Might as well just teabagged him while he was on the floor. He didn't, but he might as well have. Helped, I think, gave the assist to Castle. Got 2 alley-oops. I think he had 7 points. Rebounds, blocks, assists in the first few minutes, and he was away. Hartenstein was the other one. He was 4 of 4 on floaters to start with because Wemby just let him have it. He stayed in the paint. Good shots initially because he switched them. And then he disappeared. He had the second most shots in the team at one point late in the game. But it did seem to throw off the Thunder offense because that's not what they want. They don't want Hartenstein taking all the shots. And you could tell. They were down 23-8. Hartenstein was the only one that had scored. Everyone else was struggling. And again, there was a little bit of fight. But look, they were 8 of 22 in the first quarter. Not good shooting. Not good anything. And they finished the half with 38 points. That was, again, just offense. Nowhere to be found. If you keep the Spurs to 50 points, and 3 of those were at the buzzer of halftime with Wemby shooting a half-court shot, you'd say that's pretty good defense. However, if your offense ain't going, it's hard to set your defense as well if you're not scoring. So just twofold there. They finished the game 6 of 33 from downtown, 18%, 30 from 91 from the field, 33%. Garbage. Hot garbage. And it was just carnage. There wasn't much there. Look, Mark Daigneault again didn't have his second and third best scorers. People have been saying Chet's their second best player. Doesn't do enough on offense to be their second best player. Like, really good defender. He kind of disappeared again. Had some moments, don't get me wrong, but he needs to step up more like Mobley stepped up. So Mark Dagnall had used, I think, 11 players by the start of the second quarter, just trying to find who was going to work. Caruso shot the ball once in this game. He didn't look like he had his usual fuck you attitude. And it kind of felt to me like it bled through the team. The Thunder seemed to not get their usual calls. They missed some wide open shots. Their ball movement was non-existent. Their defense was getting broken down easier than it had been. And their ball movement off ball was just horrendous. It was just SGA do it all, and we'll just stand in the corner and watch. Like, it was just hard to describe what went wrong, but we will. First thing that changed was they stopped. When I say the Spurs stopped doubling SGA at the half court mark and making it a 4-on-3 little possession, because they were game 3 they kept doubling with Wemby at the half court, which took him completely away from the ring, and SGA got off the ball super quickly, and they would make plays from that between Hartenstein, Caruso. This game, they were just saying, nah, 1v1, you're on an island, good luck. We'll help you once Shea gets deep in the paint. And a few times got kickouts to players, but you'll live with that because Shea then was getting frustrated. He wasn't getting his usual whistle, and it just suddenly just collapsed on the Spurs, on the Thunder. And yeah, it kind of seemed like Mark Dagnall didn't really know where to go. He had Kendrick Williams in the first quarter, about the 6-minute mark. Caruso, McCain, Jay Will, and Wiggins, heavy minutes. Not enough Isaiah Joe, in my opinion. Wiggins looked kind of, like a guy that hadn't played all playoffs. Williams started looking better from the corner, but yeah, not enough game time in the lead up to really make an impact. McCain and Jay Will went 2 of 17 from downtown, so I said, hey, play McCain straight up, make him more of a playmaker. If he starts missing shots, he'll be useless, and bingo, useless. So SGA just basically, he had some times where we noticed, there'd be 4 people or 4 Spurs in the paint, and he'd have 2 open corners to pass to, and he'd take fading midi. That's not really Shea. He doesn't really take bad shots usually, and he was taking bad shots. It was weird, very weird. He ended up 6 of 15 from the field, and look, it doesn't actually sound that bad, but some of the shots you're like, brother, you were forcing this so hard. So SGA ended up 19 points, 7 assists, 2 steals, 6 of 15, but a minus 18 in 31 minutes. While Wemby, the other big star, 33 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, 3 blocks, 11 of 22 from the field, 3 of 7 from downtown, plus 29 in 31 minutes. He is our Himothy of the night. Man that's just got massive fucking kahunas, just being like, hey, I'm not losing this game. That's what leadership is about. Donovan Mitchell needs to go to the school of Wemby for some leadership. That alien that got off the UFO for the Spurs, 7'5", said, I'm not going down like this. And he took it from first, second, and went at everyone, but especially looked at SGA with his MVP award and said, give me that little boy. Fuck yeah. I know Canadians are really polite, so SGA wouldn't, backchat. But Wemby had none of it. Took his award, went home. It's now a 2-2 series. Loved it. Some talking points were, honestly, Devin Vassell might be the greatest role player now that Caruso had a, earth-shattering game that brought it back down to earth. He's been amazing on threes. His decision-making, he's not always just shooting the shot because it's a little bit open. He's a great shooter, but he's just making the right play time and time again. He's in the right spots. Amazing defense, amazing recovery. He's blocked many a shot this series that you think, why? He has no right to block that. Couple on Chet. And as I said, his playmaking has just shocked me. It's been amazing. So Devin Vassell, amazing role player that's just stepping up this series, especially when Julian Champagny is doing the Homer Simpson meme and heading into the hedges and disappearing from us this series. Cannot hit a shot. Cool stat, Devin Vassell is now 4th in Spurs history in 3-point makes behind Manu Ginobili, Patty Mills, and Danny Green, which is amazing because he's only 25. So get that, Vassell. You're actually amazing. It was just crazy. Wemby, some of the stats that pop up for Wemby is he's a plus 21 in this series in the first 3 games and a minus 38 when he's off the court. That's a huge difference. That's like a 59-point difference with and without him. And plus 126 in the first 2 rounds of the playoffs when he's on the court and plus 33 when he's off. So that's like a 93-point difference. Like, what a crazy stat that is, man. When he's on, he's amazing. When he's off, they're still better than an average team, but the Spurs obviously, look, who wouldn't like an alien? Another Fraud Watch nominee, Chet. 3rd team All-NBA. Play like it. You're getting big boyed out of the series. Wemby wants all the smoke, and you seem to be running away. Not sure if you realize, but your team's down 2 players. They might need you. Interesting. Your choice, my brother. There's still some changes that each team can make. Spurs need to target McCain and SGA a bit more on defense. I don't think they're making SGA work hard enough. I think they're letting him get away with a few extra possessions off so he can just play offense. I'd be targeting him. I know he's a decent defender, but Harper downhill, Fox downhill, and Stephon Castle putting a shoulder through him. Just beat that man into the ground if you're the Spurs and bury the Thunder, and hopefully limit his offensive game. And target McCain because he's the only one that is a genuine weak link on defense. So I haven't seen a lot of it. They've been doing it occasionally, but not enough. And if you really want to, throttle this series home as a Spurs fan, that's where I think you need to target. Your doubling has been amazing. As I said, stop doubling SGA at the half court and now just at the free throw line. Made a world of difference tonight, especially when there's no J-Dub and no AJ Mitchell. They are big losses, obviously, for the Thunder, and you could see their off-ball movement was non-existent. Their playmaking non-existent if SGA wasn't doing it. They need those 2 back, but they also need to empower other players. Wallace doesn't look like himself. McCain just had an off night. Who cares? Jay Will, great player, off night. Who cares? Wallace is the one, and if he's not going to be empowered, who else is going to make plays? You could have Topic off the bench. He's a point guard. He's got a bit of size. He hasn't played enough, I don't think. And he also had that cancer scare to start the season, but we won't talk about that because that's just sad. What a young fella to actually go through something like that. But if you wanted more playmaking, maybe try Topic for a few minutes when it's not garbage time. I don't know what else you have because Joe Wiggins, Dort, Caruso, Kenrich Williams, they're not playmakers. You need something next to SGA if J-Dub and AJ Mitchell aren't there. It was amazing. And the fans. I mean, I thought let's start here. The refs were much better. I thought some people I've already heard, especially like Bill and Zach say, the Thunder got a bad whistle. It's about time, honestly. I don't think that they've deserved a good whistle as much as they've got it. So it's really nice to actually see them have to go through some adversity without the whistle, and as soon as they didn't get their way, this game went to shit. So I thought the rest did a 95% really well done game. There's a couple of little ticky-tack fouls, such as the De'Aaron Fox one on SGA, where he maybe got a little bit of his shorts to touch SGA, and SGA goes down like a sack of shit. And he's a great player. I'm not bagging him. I'm just saying, like, some of those calls, you're like, come on, man. Like, you don't need to embellish it that much. But I thought the game was very under control, and I like the physicality both ways. Like the Spurs gave the physicality back that the Thunder had been giving them in games 2 and 3, and it's good to see that Wemby, Castle, Vassell, they're not there to just take it; they're just giving it back now, and the refs let them. So I imagine the refs will change the way they ref and call the game in Game 5. But it was awesome, and if there's not going to be any ball movement, you can get as physical as you want, and the fans and crowd engagement. This series has been amazing. 2 smaller markets. The times I've visited Texas, awesome. Love those places. Great people. And yeah, I've gone to a couple games where I really enjoyed really enjoyed the crowd involvement when they were both bad teams. So I can only imagine how loud it is in there right now. OKC fans always wearing their shirts, always standing until the first basket's scored. Spurs fans singing along like it's a soccer game. I'm here for it, man. I'm here for it all day. So yeah, it's honestly, it's those two crowds to just be like, yep, and the Knicks crowd to just be like, can I be part of that, please? Like, I'd fly 24 hours to get there right now. But what we will take away is the good, bad, the buy, sell, hold. It's a new segment. Players, teams, whatever. Look, buy. I told you last episode or last pod, buy me all the J Will stock. Not J Dub, J Will. Give me all his stock. I love him as a player. But in this game, hey, Vassell. Give me some more Vassell stock. That guy's a riser. He was the 11th pick in the 2020 draft, but still, doesn't seem like he's kind of forgotten. And that dude is just playing his role, loving it, hyping up the team. He's there. Give me that stock. Sell, Chet, bye-bye. You are just crash and burning right now, my man. You need help. You need to concentrate, hit the gym, eat more, whatever the fuck you got to do it. Wemby cannot big boy you like this for the rest of the series and in the future, because otherwise this won't be a series. And look, hold on the trades. I'm hearing some trades already about the Thunder being like, if they lose this series, should they go Giannis hunting? No. The dude's going to be 31, maybe 32, injury prone, hasn't finished a series since he was 27, doesn't shoot. Obviously a bit of a locker room cancer lately. Why would you? I know you're going to do a consolidation trade at some point, but no thank you. I would go a different direction. I honestly really love Darren Peterson for this Thunder team. And if you could turn J Dub into the second pick in this year's draft, maybe that's the way you go. But I think he's too important. You can have a year of hamstring issues. Just recover this offseason. If you keep having injuries, then it might be time to sell high while you still can. But that's my buy, sell, hold. Make sure you hold those trades and don't overreact. But hey, we'll be back. There's no more Eastern Conference games. No Cavs, Knicks. That's done. That's a sweep. That is over. So we will see you after Game 5 of the Spurs Thunder. And we'll do some more trades. We'll walk through the future, what the finals may look like. We'll walk through it all. But hey, thanks for being part of this. And we will see you next time on the pod.